Hello there. It is our daily video roundup, and I was made up. Last month I wasn't made up, but I was looking forward to doing this today with John because I saw the under-23s team sheet last night.
Yeah.
Rained on your parade.
What? No, it's all right. Why?
I think you were picking a few of them for tonight.
Well, I'm sorry. Ojaria didn't play.
No, Ojaria looks like he's going to at least get on the pitch tonight. But I thought it was interesting those who did play.
Yeah, I mean,
Brannigan
plays and Sheyi doesn't. Now, I'd be surprised if Sheyi jumped ahead of Brannigan in the queue, but then sometimes a manager can just like someone. Sheyi played for the first team. He's played a league game under Brendan Rodgers.
So he played at Swansea last season.
That was the season before. Wasn't it?
No, that's Swansea last season when we were in the middle of that. Swansea beat us 3-1. We're in the middle of that run.
Oh yeah, he got
booked he was terrible.
Yeah. So
I mean, I'm not saying that like that's the end of his career. Just that it was, he really struggled.
So I mean, they obviously do see something in Sheyi, but it'd just be a bit of a shock if he's leapfrog Brannigan. But then I don't know. We'll have to kind of wait and see on that one. I mean, the fact that Ojaria is involved at all makes you think that he'll be involved in some way tonight. It's almost a shame how these games work sometimes. If they could play it on Wednesday, then sort of who'd been involved in things like that. But Conor Mandel as well, another one who wasn't involved at all. So Kev Stewart, Danny Ings, who's been playing for the under-23s. So
Stewart played last night, didn't he?
No, Kev Stewart never played.
Didn't he?
So yeah, but they battered him 1-6-2. The game wasn't on. I haven't managed to watch the highlights. I was hoping it'd be on last night, but it wasn't on FC TV. But apparently they were great. They went 4-0 up in about 20 minutes or something. They're just playing like the first team. They're just blowing very good teams away at the moment. So
Tottenham are no mugs.
Yeah, exactly. So it's exciting to watch. They had a bit of a blip earlier in the season, and I was a bit worried that it was maybe a young team. And we talked about it on the Central League show, which is a show we do about youth football. We said, well, is this team a bit young, and is it the best way for Ben Woodburn to develop? Ben Woodburn is certainly developing at the moment. Scored again, can't stop, and well, I mean, none of them could stop. 6-2 is a fantastic result. So good on them last night, and especially when they've rested a few, and we'll see if the likes of Ojaria feature tonight. I think it's more likely to be from the bench, but we'll see. You never know.
I'd start one of Ojaria and Grujic.
Yeah, I think that's what he'll do. So we'll have to see who it is. I think he obviously really likes Ojaria. Ojaria was involved not just in the pre-season, but playing with the team that you kind of thought of as the first team. So I think he really likes him. But wait and see on that one. But yeah, well into the under-23s tonight, did really well. And speaking of that age group, it looks like Ojo's going to be back soon as well. He's become a bit of a forgotten man, really, Ojo, in a month, which is what can happen when you're playing really, really well. Everyone's saying, how does Ford into Frigo? How does Danny Ings get back in? How does Origi get back in? Well, there's Ojo as well, who's potentially someone who can give Mane a bit of a rest.
I completely agree with that. I was about to say, I think that Ojo could end up having when I say a big part to play, a significant part, an important part to play this season in terms of being the alternate to Mane, especially in the context of the fact that he's going to disappear off to the ACN for a period of time. So I think that I think that's a big deal, to be honest with you. Mane, I think Ojo's going to get some opportunities from the bench and be integrated that way, and it wouldn't surprise me if for instance, if we get through this tonight against Derby, if by the time because there's quite a big gap between these League Cup games, I know this from planning them for shows, so the next one's not until deep into October, so it wouldn't surprise me if by then he's got a little bit of time under his belt, and if we can get through tonight, then it's an opportunity. And the next one's not till the end of November again, and for once this season I haven't got full-on League Cup cynicism because I think it's a good opportunity to either get players more used to what it is you're asking them to do.
Well, Burton helped, didn't it?
Yeah, well, exactly. I think that's
just beating someone 5-0 nice sometimes.
So yeah, I think for instance, I'd start Klein tonight. I probably wouldn't be starting him by the time we get into the depths of October. It's quite an ironic thing. What I was actually thinking tonight was the way in which last night I was sitting there and I was thinking I'd probably almost weaken the League Cup team as it went, if you know what I mean. If we're doing well in the league, I'd almost I can make more of a case to rest Klein at the end of October and the end of November than I can at the moment. I just sort of think at the moment, well, he's not going to play for England anyway. From the look of things, he's behind Walker, so you want to try and just sort of keep him match sharp, and you want him getting him used to what's going on.
Yeah.
I want Klein and Mane working together. To be honest with you, at the moment, I can completely see the case for giving Moreno a run, and I'd be doing that. But I wouldn't be. For me, it wouldn't be wholesale changes at all, because I'd be thinking, let's just keep these players. And also, I think it's then unfair on Ojaria, for instance. If you were to start Ojaria, he wants Channel Henderson behind him. He doesn't want to go to drop beneath that. He probably wants either Wijnaldum or Lallana next to him, because he wants that experience. And I
think you probably learn more about the players in that sense, don't you, when they're playing with the first team. And I think for Ojaria, Grujic, or even Sheyi Ojo, if he went very left field on it, the idea of having someone next to you who can talk you through the game, who knows exactly what is expected from a Klopp player in that position. You know, if you're in the front two and the guy who's next to you is Lallana, and he's been doing it for 5 games and he's brilliant at it, you can sort of take your lead off him really. Whereas there's 2 new lads thrown in there, it does get a bit more difficult. I thought it's, you know, there's a lot to think about, and there's a lot more than some people make out. Everyone just says, "Oh, just rest them all," but it's or just play your strongest team. And I think it is hard. I thought that the free show, the free podcast that the Anfield app put out this week was really, really good. And on that, because I thought what a great point was that I think it was that Jay made, was that, you know, if James Milner gets injured tomorrow, then suddenly you're throwing Alberto Moreno in a league game against, okay, it's the next one, you say it's only Hull or whatever, but you know, it's you know, someone has to come in. So, and if Nathaniel Clyne gets injured at right back, well, who's going to come in? Is it going to be Trent? So is your first game, you know, potentially in a few weeks, Man United at home, for example, or do you be able to say, oh, you know, we need to throw Moreno in, but remember he had that good game, you know, and he's got that in his mindset as well. He's got a good game under his belt for the first team, so it's always having to think about, well, what would you do if you got an injury, and who is it who needs to come in? And you don't want them coming in cold. You don't want the idea that they haven't played, you know, for the first team game for Klopp this season.
And the other thing that occurred to me was I would start Henderson tonight under all circumstances, because I think one of the pluses of, you know, there's talk about
there's a bit more calm talk today, you know. There's something in the echo about how he's available and what that means.
Do you know what I'd do? Genuinely, if you're telling me that Emre Can's available, I'd start him. I'd start Henderson in front, because I think Henderson should get a go at doing that, and also for the manager to have a look at that. And then I'd start either Karius or Ojaria off the basis of the fact that you've got those two. And I'd do that. But one of the key things about this is, you know, when you got to the back end of sort of Gerrard's time as captain, you know, Gerrard had tons and tons of positives as a Liverpool captain, but one of the issues was you had to pull him in and out a little bit. You had to manage his fitness, and I just think that, you know, if we're going to allow that, different people are going to do this job in a different way. One of the things that Henderson has actually got in his back pocket is the fitness. You know, he's got the ability to play a lot of games. He's a genuinely very, very fit footballer. That's one of the things that he's got. So unless he's got a niggle of some description, I'd be thinking, well, if you're going to play a young player, give him the captain. Don't feel as though you give him the captain. If you're going to have a young player in attack, he's got the captain behind him. If he's got a midfielder's got him next to him, he's calling the press, as you've seen him be doing. He's in the referee. You know what I mean? Making it feel like this is a proper Liverpool game, and him doing all of that stuff and helping him through, which was something that Gerrard, I think, very much wanted to do. But obviously, when you can't do 3 games a week, it becomes something that you get to do.
You need the rest at some point. So you know, so it sort of ends up being the League Cup, really.
But Henderson doesn't need that.
No.
At this, you know, I think at this stage of his career as a footballer. So if Can is fit, I'd play Henderson and Can, and then give that other spec, and then you simultaneously, Henderson's also there taking the weight off Wijnaldum and Lallana, letting them have the full week to recover. And, do you see what I mean? And you can use them that way and sort of say, well, this is part of your burden. You know, you do the media work, you do this. Almost, you know, you're here to help these lads through. And I think that's what Henderson wants. He wants the full hit. Give him the responsibility. He's taking it on his shoulders. He was taking it on his shoulders when Gerrard was even here. If you listen to Gerrard, there was a good thing on. I know we don't normally talk about other people's audio, but there was actually on the Legends show on City Talk last night. They had an interview with Gerrard with John Aldridge and Graham Sharp and Steve Hothersall. It's worth listening to. So keep your ears out for that one. We'll probably tweet it later on today or something. Any other news?
What we're going to do probably after. Karius is going to start tonight as well. That's the thing. You probably know about her now. What I wanted to finish on, you know, my ongoing feature of mad people who are now working for Liverpool. I say ongoing. I've only done one, but it was Jonathan Woodgate. Jonathan Woodgate, if you don't know, is now full time as a scout for Liverpool, doing Spain and Portugal. Nice work if you can get it. There's another one. Another mad fellow who now works for Liverpool.
Go on.
Played at Newcastle with Jonathan Woodgate. Andy O'Brien.
What's Andy O'Brien doing?
Scouting.
What's it? Who?
Well, here is Andy O'Brien on his new full-time job with Liverpool.
Quote.
This is him bigging himself up in the role.
Okay.
The majority of the top players are courted by a lot of the top clubs. Trying to find a needle in the haystack or a diamond is not the easiest thing to do these days. There were never enough games to watch. Well, cheers for that, Andy.
Feels like he's managing everyone's expectations earlier, Andy.
He's took a full-time job and now he's telling everyone how hard it is.
I tell you,
don't expect too much of him.
It's the first thing they tell you, manage upwards. It's Andy O'Brien for you there, managing upwards.
And that was his best quote.
I'll tell you honestly, he scares the life out of me. Who knows what he does to the opposition? This has been our free video. Loads of stuff today. Keep your eye on all of our social media channels and on things that we're doing. We might do something quite interesting tonight after the game, so come onto Facebook and be aware of what's going on there. And you know, all the usual stuff. There'll be a post-match show. There's a coach home coming out. There'll be all the writing that there normally is. You know the drill by now. It's the Anfield app. It's £5 a month. Subscribe if you haven't already. But regardless, enjoy yourselves. The Reds play tonight.